All right, this is the fan cart simulation. The purpose of this lab, in this activity, you will explore Newton's second law. So the directions, so click on the link posted below or on Google Classroom. There will be a code to access this simulation. The first thing that needs to be done is to click on the checkbox that reads show mass. So that's going to be located right there. So that way I know the mass of it. Then it says follow the directions in the question to explore Newton's second law. So on the checkbox that reads show mass, or once the checkbox that reads show mass has been clicked, look at the description tab. So come over here and click at the description tab. All right. So then the question says, how much force does each fan exert on the cart? What is the mass of each cart? How much mass does each block have? What is the mass of the empty cart? So there's a lot of questions here, but it all can be answered using this right here. All right, so then it says place all three fans on the cart. Right, so click all three fans. You just drag and drop. They should all be facing this direction, and it'll show you the mass of the cart down here. Then it says click on the description tab right here. How much force does, okay, so, and then it says check the numerical values tab. So this is where the acceleration of the cart will be found. Change the number of fans that are turned on, but leave all three fans on the cart to keep the mass of the cart the same. Fill in the table below. Place the results in the Google Sheets attached to this assignment and copy the chart in the space provided. So on this one, what we're doing is we are varying the number of fans that are turned on. So you turn them on this little toggle. So these will change the direction, but we want them all just facing the same direction. So you can click on this one, but I need to make sure that this show numerical values tab is turned on. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this. So the first one is, well, 0, right? So that one's already filled in, but notice, well, no fans are turned on. There's no acceleration, right? So I'm going to reset that one. Now I want to turn one fan on, and it doesn't matter which one, but now I'm going to hit play. Right? So now I know the acceleration with one fan on. Right? And you know the force, you can fill out the mass. All right, now let's reset, do two fans on. So now I have two fans on. We'll notice that now the acceleration increased. Okay, good. Now let's reset it and do that with three fans. So now all three fans are on. Let's see the acceleration over here. Notice the acceleration is going to increase. So I'm increasing that force. You can, and if you place that in the chart, it'll graph that for you automatically. So now let's reset it. All right, so I want to turn all these fans off. There we go. All right, so now it says all three fans should still be on the cart. Keep looking at the bar chart tab. Make sure the box that reads show numerical values is still checked. So all set. This is where the acceleration of the cart will be found. Change the number of boxes that are on the cart to change the mass of the cart. All three fans will be on the cart and turned on for all of these scenarios. Fill in the table below. Place the results in the Google Sheets attached to this assignment and copy the chart in the space provided. All right, so all three of them should be on. Now we've already done this scenario. We already know the acceleration for an empty cart. We know the cart mass down here. We've already done this one. Right? That was the last one that we did. So now what we can do is we can come in here and we are going to change the mass. So now I'm going to add one box. Now notice the mass of the cart changed. Notice the mass of the cart changed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play. Right? So now, well, now you're going to put that acceleration. All right, so now I'm going to reset it. I'm going to place another mass on there, hit play. All right, there's the acceleration of this cart. Then I'm going to reset it, put the last one on there, and I'm going to hit play. And notice that that is the acceleration of the cart. All right, just reset it. So now that's it for the simulation part. So then the next one says manipulate or erase the arrows to the right to draw the free body diagrams for all the forces acting on the cart for all these scenarios. Assume the wheels make the friction low enough to ignore. So we can ignore the friction in this, but notice that you're going to have gravity, right? And think about what's that support force that keeps it from falling down on the center of the earth. And what type of force is pushing on this cart? Then it says, looking at the free body diagram that was drawn, how could it be determined the cart is accelerating? Explain your answer. And then it gives you a little hint, and it says, are the forces acting on the cart balanced or unbalanced. So now that we have the graphs, the next question says, look at the acceleration versus net force graph. What is the relationship between the accelerating or the acceleration and net force applied to that object? So it says, look at the chart. And there is a little graphic that shows you different charts. And there's one for linear, quadratic, inverse, and inverse squared. So what does that chart look like? Then the last question says, look at the acceleration versus mass graph. What is the relationship between the acceleration and the mass of the object? Look at that chart. So once again, that's going to be linear, quadratic, inverse, and inverse squared chart. So once again, this has been the fan cart simulation.